God help me. This is a letter to the lawyers and other curious folk. God bless the lawyers, said no one ever. We really are annoying, aren't we? Natural-born skeptics and shipped off to school for intensive training on how to become even more insufferable. Challenge everything. And if there's anything left, we'll beat that into submission too. Consider baseball. Now, the non-lawyer will argue that Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak is untouchable. Well, yeah, that's perhaps the most unassailable claim in sports records history, and really, the only sane thing that can be said if you're a normal human. But the lawyer? Now see, the lawyer sees an opening. Blame it on insanity if you like, but the lawyer will doggedly insist that it's really only a matter of time until Joltin' Joe gets dethroned. After all, modern hitters are aided by algorithms, AI-assisted coaching, and sleep science, while DiMaggio did it only on guts and instinct. And if the lawyer still hasn't convinced you, she'll ask whether you even considered the modern shift in hitting philosophy that prioritizes military-like plate discipline and elite contact. See Freddie Freeman and Luis Arias, for example. Challenge everything, says the lawyer. It's her way of life. We're really not optimists, or pessimists for that matter, just curious folk who delight in evidence-based arguments and don't settle for lazy shortcuts. Heck, we often argue positions we don't even believe. And the dirty secret is, we do it just for fun to see if the argument crumbles under its own weight. Some kind of perverse delight, I guess, with no real reward other than some vague satisfaction that we're right. Whatever that's worth. No wonder we stick to our own kind. Who else would have us? Clumped together in such rigid blocks, they're called firms. Immovable fraternities held together by proud and stubborn camaraderie. Man, I really do love lawyers. Sue me. So this note is to my people, to the lawyers, and other curious folk who are skeptical about anything they can't prove with hard evidence. And that includes something that first captivated me when I was 6 years old: Jesus' purported resurrection. Now look, I'm with you. I'm one of you, even. I applaud your criticism. Put your mind to work, flip all the stones over, and take no shortcuts in your investigation. Anticipate the opposing argument and don't compromise your hard-nosed reputation as a truth seeker. Scrutinize the evidence. It's all important. And shove the full force of your shoulder into the work. But in so doing, I'd ask you to do something that's uncomfortable for lawyers. Leave open the possibility that there might be more to gain from your investigation than lab-tested packets of information. I've stood silently on the south rim of the Grand Canyon, spellbound as the sun splashed colors on the canyon walls, and I experienced something that I can't prove like a lawyer wants to. What was that? English is an insufficient medium, but I'd describe it as a longing for something, or maybe someone. But whatever that something or someone is can't be tested in the flame of a Bunsen burner. And we've all also flipped over the other side of that coin too. In the stillness, if we're quiet just long enough, you felt something lurking in the shadow, dark and strange, a great and terrible something that doesn't belong, and we all just happen to know it. You don't have to be taught to scream out in rage at the injustices on display at the Civil Rights Museum in Jackson, Mississippi, or to cry at a funeral, or to revolt against the steroid-swollen faces and bald heads bobbing in a waiting room at MD Anderson. There's just something so fundamentally wrong with all of it. But whatever it is, refuses to be distilled down into a glass beaker. So where's the hope? We obviously need help, but from where or from whom? It should be clear by now that we can't help ourselves. So what are you gonna do, lawyer? You gonna rationalize your way out of this? It would all seem so desperately hopeless. But, see, I keep returning to those odd accounts of a murdered first-century itinerant Jewish rabbi whom some have rumored to have been God himself and is purported to have been raised to life again. Now that doesn't pass cleanly through the scientific method, and on that basis alone would be easy, if not lazy, to dismiss. That's fair. But lawyer, I'd ask you to investigate those strange stories with the full force of your head, while also remaining open to the possibility that they could penetrate your heart. Yes, of course, stand on the lip of the canyon with your notepad and notate the flora and the fauna and the time-worn rock strata and all the rest. It's all important, and you ought not discount the importance of precise note-taking. But when the sun melts into the horizon and the vibrant purples and blues and oranges dance down the canyon walls, don't be so smugly proud with your science as to not look up from your notepad and let the scenery move your soul. Because if you do, you'll find, like I did, that the great solution to the cosmic problem is standing at the entrance of his tomb, looking you squarely in the eye and inviting you to join him in his resurrection. All that's required is that you ask.